Hey guys, good evening. It's me again, Super Proxy. So we're gonna continue uh, talking about the NALF, and for this video, we're gonna talk about the gears and how to activate the flawless stone or the red gears. Okay. So without further ado, let's start. So for the first zero, the very first gear, that is it doesn't have any or so in first gear I'm using any gears. So uh just to be clear, my any elf is pure breed in gears. In terms in gears, it's pure any. Okay? So my first tier is any. Everything is any. Okay? So they're any. Attack of soldier. I can't read that, but recover 30%. And for the second gear, it's also any. So any set. Okay. So second gear any set or second tier any set. For the third tier, it's still any. Oh, there you go. Any. So energy. Everything is any. I didn't get any agility gears. Okay. For the fourth, I'm still using any. Everything is any. So I'm not using agility gears. For the fifth, it's the same. It's any gears. All any. See, everything is any because of the dead hit rate too and skill damage. And for the sixth tier, it's still the same. Any. I didn't use any agility once again. So like for the others are asking if I did a hybrid or something. No, I did not. It's everything is any. Or seventh tier, still any. Everything is any. Pure energy. Pure energy elf. For the 8, still any. Okay. And for the ninth, still any. Everything is any. Energy. 10th, any. So from first tier to up to 10th tier, it's any. Everything is any. Okay, guys? So if you're wondering, those are my gears. It's pure energy gears. Okay? So let's talk about the flawless stone or how to make your equipment red. Something like this. They're red. This one is purple. So we go here at the craft and equipment evolution. Okay? So the this one, the flawless crystal. So to open this option, to open this perfect evolution, you have to evolve everything. You know, max evolve all the gears. Max evolve here. Okay, everything to open this perfect evolution. Okay, it will start on the fourth tier, third, oh third tier, the fourth. See, it will start on third tier. Okay, max evolution. You need to evolve everything into max to open this option, the perfect evolution. Okay, so now we're gonna see what's uh, what's the stats or set buff that it will give on the third tier. So this is the buff. When you activate two parts attacking enemy users, there's a 20% chance to inflict weaken, 20% only, with a 75 seconds cooldown. Weaken, what is weaken? Max attack to minimum attack, and critical hits deal damage based on minimum attack. Okay, so your enemy has 10 million 10 million damage max attack, and then he has 7 million minimum damage. For example, like, let me see here. I have a physical attack 13 million, and the minimum attack is 8 million. Okay, so that will reverse. Okay, did you get it? So in the third tier, this one sets max attack to minimum attack. Okay, so instead of your max attack is 13M, it will become 8M. Okay, so that's minus 5 million damage. And then the critical hits deal damage based on minimum attack. Okay, so when you damage a critical hit, it will only base on your minimum attack, not the max attack. Okay, that is weaken. That's what weaken is. So cooldown reduced by 15 seconds for 3 parts, and then for 5 parts also reduces enemy user skill damage by 35%. Okay, so not only the max damage but also the skill damage. Okay, and for 7 parts activates the user's free three hits won't exceed 10% of their max HP. Okay, 3 hits, it won't exceed for 10% of their max HP. So I don't know what is your max HP. So that is the third tier. Let's go to fourth tier. So fourth tier, if you activate 2 parts, gain 1 stack of vengeance status for 30 seconds upon killing an enemy user. Each stack of vengeance status increases attack and defense by 2%, stacking up to 10 times. Okay, wait, let's go back to third tier. Third tier is good for 1 versus 1 player. Okay, 1 versus 1 player. This one, but I wouldn't recommend this tier because it's just 20% chance to inflict. Okay, it's a very low chance, and the cooldown is 60 seconds. 75 minus 15, it's, you know, 60 seconds cooldown. Not a good one. So, okay, let's go back to fourth tier. So this is the fourth tier, vengeance. Status each and blah blah blah. Status attack and defense by 2%. 2% stacking up to 10 times. Max vengeance plus 10. So it will be like 20 times. So that will 20 times 2%, it will be 40%. That's a huge increase in your attack and defense, 40%. And then if you activate 5 parts, restores 10% HP on each enemy user kill. Each enemy. Okay, so the more enemy you kill, and then the more HP you restore. Okay, so for the 7 parts, when vengeance activates, gain 2% damage per stack up to 20 stacks. Okay, see that? There's a damage and attack. So 2%. This one is good for uh, when you are in corpse or castle siege, because the more the more players you kill, the stronger you become. But this one is not good for arena. It is not good for arena. Okay, for one versus one player, it's not good. So this one I wouldn't recommend as well, since it's just for a crowd. But it's up to you. You can have this one. But the pros, like what I said, it is the best uh, set for perfect evolution. It is the perfect evolution when you want to become, or when you want to dominate in corpse or castle siege. Okay, because every enemy you attack stacks up to 20 stacks. Okay, so that's like 40% attack and 40% defense, and every time you kill you regen 10%. So you know but if you have a lower CP, this will is not good. Okay, it will not activate if you keep on dying, if that makes sense. Okay, let's go to the fifth tier. Okay, for the fifth tier, for two parts, activate 35% HP, negates fatal damage exceeding 35 HP. What is negates? It's like ignore. Ignore fatal damage exceeding 35% HP with a 35% rate. Okay? When you have a low, when you have HP, when you have a 35% and below HP, there's a 35 chance to ignore damage exceeding 35% of your HP. Did you get it? So there's a 35% rate to ignore 35% HP damage, or oh yes, HP damage. It's kind of confusing, but if you really if you have, like, if you're dying, there's a 35% chance to negate or ignore the 35% damage exceeding your HP. So this is good if you are dealing with very high CP or very high attack damage, especially for the Agi Wizard that they stack the damage and then you just explode. So this is good against uh, Agi Wizard. So for the three parts, increase the damage negation rate for 35%. So the chance to ignore the damage, it will become 70%. So that is good. The chance rate will become 70%. And for the five parts, activates when your HP is above 25%. If incoming damage exceeds 25% of your max HP and would be fatal, negates. What do you mean by it would be fatal? It means that you're almost gonna die. That what is fatal means. You're almost gonna die with that attack, okay? It is what fatal means here. It will negate or ignore damage with a 75% rate and randomly remove two negative status buff. So it will remove two debuff, okay? Negative negative status is it's like debuff, like poison, burn, or bleeding, okay? Those are the negative status effects. So it will remove two random buff, okay? So instead of 35%, it became 25%. It will activate, and 25% of your max HP damage would be fatal. It will negate, okay? Negate with 75% rate. This one is good too, actually. It is a good perfect evolution for the set. Especially, I think this one is good for everything. For DK, This one is good for DK. When removing a negative status, gain 1% invincibility. See that? This one is good for, DK. 1 second invincibility. Invincible. So you're not gonna die, you are immune to damage and whatsoever, invincible. Okay? So that is the fifth tier perfect evolution. So it's up to you. You can decide, guys. But for low levels, like people are still in the fourth tier or fifth tier, you can decide whether to save your crystal or you can use it on the fifth or fourth. Okay, I'm just gonna show you what are the uh, perfect evolution stats on the higher tiers. Okay, so let's go with the sixth tier. This is the sixth tier. So if you activate two parts, successfully evading an enemy user's attack grants blink status. Blink, what is blink? Increases your next attack damage by 10% with a 15 seconds cooldown. Wow, that is very nice. So this one, two parts evading the word itself. This is very good when you are Agi Wizard. Okay, evasion with Agi Wizard and I think Agi Elf has evasion too, or I don't know. I'm really not sure because I haven't tried Agi Elf. But for the Agi Wizard, especially Agi Wizard, this is a good set. Okay, when evading, it says when evading, you gain more attack, and for the three parts or three sets activated, further increase damage by 5%. And for the five parts, increase damage and restores 20% HP. Wow! So, when you activate five parts, every time you evade an enemy, your damage will increase up to 10, 5, 5, 20%. And then, your damage increase by 20% and then restores 20% of your HP every 15 seconds. Okay? That is OP. This one is OP. For Agi Wizard. Okay? And for 7 parts, activating Blink status also inflicts injured status on the opponent lasting 3 injured status. Holy shit. No. Status limits HP recovery to 80% of max HP. No recovery occurs and current HP already exceeds this threshold. So like what I said, this is very good for Agi Wizard. Okay? Since it has injured, it doesn't mean that it is good for DK. No, because DK, uh, especially for STR that has injury, it's not good because it doesn't have evasion. Okay? So this one is good for Agi Wizard. That's for sure. I am really sure. But it's up to you. See, you can have the more damage, 20% damage every 15 seconds and restores 20%. Wow, and then limits the HP recovery. So while you are getting poisoned, you are not gonna recover and then you're just gonna explode and boom, you're gonna die. So that's the sixth tier for people that wondering what is in the sixth tier. That's the sixth tier. And now we go with the seventh tier. Seventh tier with two parts. When using an active skill against an enemy user, active skill, okay? It means you have to cast the skill. It's not passive. It's active skill. If the skill's cooldown is 10 seconds or more, there's a 10% chance to reduce its cooldown by 5 seconds. This effect has a 60 seconds cooldown. Huh. That two parts is not good since it only has 10% chance. That's a very, very low chance. Skill cooldown reduction chance increased by 10%. Okay, so it became 20%, increase in skill cooldown reduction activation chance by 15% and double its effect. 10% reduction cooldown upon activating. Okay, so it became 20, 35%, and then it doubles its effect, 10 seconds cooldown reduction. So that's like 45%, if not mistaken. Yep, 45% to increase the cooldown by 5 seconds. Or reduced, I'm sorry, 45% chance to reduce the cooldown by 5 seconds. So, for example, we have this skill. So that's more than 10 seconds. It will become 7 seconds. Okay, it will reduce 5 seconds cooldown. So I think this one, uh, the 7th tier, is good for any wizard. It you have a very you have a high cooldown, decreased cooldown already, and then your skills are, they're gonna last by 5%, 5 seconds as well. So I think this one is good for any wizard, but not good for DK, since DK has a limited skills. You don't need uh, to spam skills. I think it's good for every class, but maybe the any wizard will benefit on this. And gaining, and then status for 3 seconds, status increased by 20%, see? And then for 7 parts, damage increase also grants control immunity for 10 seconds. Wow. Provides immunity to the next stun or root effect. Wow, this is good, yeah. So you keep on stunning, okay? Like what I said, good for any wizard, and for I think Dark Lord, any DL, because they have a lot of stun. So it lessen the cooldown, and then gaining damage increase as well, and then control immunity for 10 seconds. You control the immunity. Control immunity, crowd control immunity for 10 seconds. Wow, that's a lot. That's a very nice set. I think this is good for NADL and any wizard, or even for DK. I think it is a good set. So that's the seventh tier, guys. If you are wondering, so let's go with the tier 8. Oh, tier 8. I got the tier 8, but only the 6 parts. So the 7 parts. If you oh, if you activate 2 parts, damage dealt on enemy user in a single hit exceeds 25% of their max HP. Inflict the sepsis status. Excuse me. If you hit the enemy that exceeds 25% of their max HP, you will inflict sepsis. What is sepsis? 35% of HP recovered during the effect is lost, so they cannot regen. I mean, like the 30%, 35% of the HP they recovered will lost over 5 seconds. Okay, so if, for example, they recovered 10 million 10 million HP, it will be lost over 5 seconds. Okay, so it's like 2M for 1 second, so that's gonna be 5 seconds. That's 10M. Okay, and for the 3 parts, activation requirement lowered. That is why I got this one, because the activation is lowered. Damage dealt on enemy user in a single hit exceeding 15% of their max HP. Sepsis HP loss increased to 50%. Okay, so 50% of the HP they recovered will be lost. I got this for my DK, for my STR DK when they cast the Vulcan. When you cast the Vulcan, uh, it will inflict 24 or 28. I guess it's 28% of their max HP. Okay, so that will activate the sepsis. That is why I got this for my DK before. It will activate the sepsis. So this one is not good if you don't have a skill that can deal 15%, okay, of their max HP for a single hit. This one will activate too. It's not just the skill, but maybe if you hit the critical or dead hit rate that inflict 15% of their max HP, sepsis will activate. Okay, but you know just to be how do you call this one? Just to make it simple, just find a skill that will that will inflict 15% of their max HP. If you have that, then the tier 8 is good. That's why I got this one because of my STRDK. And for the 5 parts, cooldown reduced by 30 seconds. Okay? Here it's 90, now it become 60. 30 seconds cooldown was removed. The lost HP from the enemy under sepsis will flow in yourself, restoring the same amount of HP lost by the enemy over 3 seconds, once per second. Okay? So if they lost 50% of their HP, you will recover 50% of the HP. That makes sense? Like the instead of the for example, the lost HP increased 50%. Instead of recovering 10 million HP, they can only recover 5 million HP. And then that 5 million HP will go to your HP. Okay? You will recover the 50% that the enemy lost. That makes sense? So you will recover HP. And for the 7 parts, if HP is full when restoring HP, the excess converts into barrier, absorbing 50% damage. So, so if you have like full HP and then you cast the Vulcan, for example, for the STRDK, and then you inflict 15% of their max HP, you will the HP, instead of recovering, it will go to a barrier. It's kind of confusing how I explained, but it is what it is, guys. So I got this one, but not complete. Okay, like what I said, I'll repeat that. If you inflict 15% damage of their max HP, okay, you will activate the sepsis. So sepsis, the HP they recovered will only be 50%, and the other 50% you will recover as HP, but if your HP is full, it will go to your barrier. Okay? I hope that makes it clear. And now let's go to tier 9. So tier 9, this is the one I maxed. I maxed this one first. Let's see here. So for 2 parts, activate. Slowing an enemy user has a 50% chance rate to inflict the thorn status. Okay? So if you slow down or you inflict slow to your enemy, you will activate the thorn. What is a thorn status? increases all damage taken by the target by 15%. Okay? So your target will receive 15% more damage. And for the three parts, target under the thorn status takes 10% bonus damage. So that's another 10% bonus damage. So it became 25%. For five parts activated, increase the rate of activating the thorn status by 50%. Reduce the HP recovery effect of targets under the thorn status. So has a 50% chance, and then increase the rate for 50 more chance. So that will be 100% chance rate. If you slow the enemy, it is 100% chance to reduce their HP recovery by 50%, and they will receive 25% more damage. 15% here and 10% here. And then for the 7 parts, if enemies under the thorn status move, the thorn status duration resets, lasting up to 10 seconds. Okay? If you activate two parts, it will last for 3 seconds only. But if you activate 7 parts, it will last for 10 seconds. So 10 seconds, your enemy is receiving 25% more damage, and HP recovery is half. Is it will become 50%. So that is the tier 9. That is why, I mean, almost everyone that I know got the tier 9. I think we all have the same idea why they wanted the T9 also. But like what I said, if you are on the tier 7 or tier 8, I would recommend to get this one first, or save your flawless crystal to until to tier 9. But it's up to you. You can use it on the lower tiers, but if you only get one crystal at a time every month, something like that, just save it and use it on tier 9. Okay? Since activating one or two is not a good idea, I would rather save the crystals and activate it here. Well, that is just for me, guys. Okay? As you can see, this is the stats for the perfect evolution. And for the 10th tier, let's go with 10th tier. For the perfect evolution, 10th tier. So if you activate 2 parts, when your HP is below 50%, gain the steel armor status for 3 seconds upon taking damage with a 90% cooldown. Under the steel armor status, any damage received less than 4% of your max HP is nullified. So if your HP is below 50%, okay, you will activate steel armor. This one is good only for players that, if low damage has a low damage on you. Okay, this is not applicable for players that you have the same power. Okay, because they can deal 4% more damage. But if your enemy is weaker than you, that is good. Then every damage that is less than by 4% of your max HP is nullified. Nullified is like, ignored to, like avoided, void, something like that. And for the 3 parts, activation condition improved activates when your HP is below 70%. Okay? And the cooldown is 90 seconds. That is not good. And activates for 70 when you have a below 70. And for the 5 parts, While armored status is active, gain plus 35% damage, reduction, and become immune to damage less than 6%. So it became 6% instead of 4%. Excuse me. And then you have a 35% damage reduction. This one is good for any DK, for tank. Yeah, this one is for any DK. The best for me, it is best perfect evolution for any DK. While under the armored status, damage exceeding 6% of your max HP is reduced by 30%. See? Exceeding is reduced by 30%. So this one is good for any DK. So since any DK or STR DK is good too, the only thing is you have to have a high HP, okay, and then armor, like more defense to activate this one. Since 4% or 6% of your HP damage. So let's say it's a regular attack, like this one, regular attack that doesn't, you know, inflict a high damage. It will ignore. It will ignore that damage. Okay. It will nullify. So yeah, that's the tier 10. And like what I said, I got the tier 9 and tier 8. I'm gonna finish this tier 8. And so, yep. That's the perfect evolution. Okay, that's how you open the perfect evolution. And those are the stats of a perfect evolution. Okay. So it will add, let's see this one. Yeah, it will add, more damage in here too. But for the elemental attack, I guess it's just for the elemental attack. Yep, just for the elemental attack. So that's it. That's the perfect evolution. And for the gears, what else should I add here? Awakening wounds, luck, inherit. I guess that's it. That's the topic for our for today. Okay, just for the gears. All right. Thank you, guys, and have a good night. Bye bye.